Look, it's a new way to hide your poop and give it to somebody. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog for July the 14th, 2025, vlog number 415, and it's my birthday. Yes, and before you ask, I am 68 years old today, and I don't know where the time has gone, but it has. It's gone. So I don't feel a day over 67. So anyways, moving right ahead, having a little coffee, birthday coffee. Is there something special in it? No, there's not. It's way too early in the morning for anything like that. So let's take a look at what I have been working on. So this is my sister's quilt. Sorry, the picture is really rotten of this. I tried straightening it up, and yeah, I didn't want to get out my stand to take a picture of it, but it's not finished. And when it is finished, meaning the quilting part of it, I will maybe take a better picture of it and show you that. But for now, it's sitting out on top of Lucy. I've got to get it up there. I'm hoping to get it on Lucy today and get it quilted if all goes well. So far this morning, technology has not been working out the best, and I hope during this recording the technology does work, and I hope Lucy works today. I hope she's in a good mood, and I mean, she should be. It's my birthday. She should be in a good mood. But anyways, there it is. I've got all the borders on it. It measures 90 by 90, and that'll be good size for what she has planned for it, because I already consulted her about that. And so, yeah, that's out of my hair. So moving right along, I'm working on this, and tomorrow I will show you the finished product. This is going to be a Halloween table topper. Yes, I know it's only July, but, you know, time goes by really quick, especially when you get to be my age. So, you know, you got to make, what do they say? You got to make hay while the sun shines, kind of a deal. So tomorrow I will show you what these pieces look like when they're all put together. And oops, I'm going to show it to you now. That's enough, okay? That's a sneak peek. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about this in a little bit more detail. Okay, so that takes me to the YouTube channel of the week. If you saw Stephen and Walter live yesterday, we spent the majority of the time talking about AI. I'm really into AI at the moment because I find it fascinating. If you saw the thumbnail that was for Stephen and Walter live, the countdown thumbnail, you know that I changed that and there's a soundtrack to it, and that was all done by AI. And it's scary how this kind of thing can make music. So even if you're not musical, you can use AI to make pretty decent songs. And in fact, we talked about this yesterday on Stephen and Walter Live, that people are posting these songs on Spotify and they're getting millions of hits. And so I've been looking at a lot of YouTube videos about the whole AI revolution, so to speak, and I found this one. It's called AI Band Went Viral, and this is basically the video that got me into trying some of the apps for making songs. So here's what I'm talking about. This week's online YouTube video is one called This AI Band Went Viral, and this is all about a phenomenon that I just heard about that's been starting with using AI to create music. And this music is being published in minutes on Spotify, and some of them are getting like over 1 million hits on Spotify, and they are fake. They are not the real thing whatsoever. So there is a program that you can get. You can play around with it. I've played around with it a little bit. I want to play around with it a little bit more, where basically it will create an original song for you just based upon whatever title and prompts you give it. And they sound pretty darn good. And this is very scary technology. So in this video, this Matt Wolf talks all about this kind of thing and about how this AI is going to affect the way we get music or how music is created. It's exciting and it's scary. So you'll want to check this video out if you're interested in how AI is infiltrating every aspect of our society. So there's a link for that in the show notes, as always. Sewing with Stephen, although the link is in the show notes, there is not a Sewing with Stephen this week. Usually it's on Wednesdays, but this Wednesday I'm taking it off because we will be on our way back home from Toronto. We're going in tomorrow, which will be Tuesday at the time of the recording of this, to visit some friends and go out to dinner with them, and we're staying overnight, and then we're going to come back home on Wednesday, which is usually when we have Sewing with Stephen, but we're going to make a stop at IKEA because Walter wants to get a new shelf system for his sewing room. So we're going to do that. So by the time we get back out here, well, half the day will be gone anyway. So yeah, for those of you that are the regulars to Sewing with Stephen, it's a week off. We will resume next week on Wednesdays. But if you are new and you were thinking about joining us this Wednesday, I'm sorry. There'll be nobody home. But please come and join us in a week's time. Okay, so there are also links to patterns that are free, my patterns, links to my friends' YouTube channels, and any other links that come up today are there, and links to last week's videos as well. So lots of linking going on. Okay, well, let's take a look at what's happening outside today. And it is 6:30 in the morning, Monday morning, my birthday. Did I mention it's my birthday? And yeah, looks like the day is going to be kind of nice according to the weather app. It says right now it is currently 18 degrees C, so that's comfortable. And we're going to have a high of about 28. Now, this does not talk about a humidex, humidity, so that could make it even higher. So warm day. There is a heat warning alert, though, for today, according to this, so it's going to be warm. But there doesn't look like there's any rain in the forecast today, which is very nice. So good, I can get out this morning after I'm finished posting this and go for my morning walk. The last 2 days I have missed it for one reason or another. Well, I missed it on Saturday because I was doing my pop-up sew day, Stephen's birthday bash. Did I mention it's my birthday? Birthday bash, pop-up sew day. And I think everybody had a really good time at that. And so I did not get out for my walk that day. And then I intended to go out yesterday on Sunday morning, and it was raining. Yeah, in the morning. And then I got busy with Russ's, my friend Russ of Quilt Meets World, his sewing shenanigans. And so it didn't get out then either, because then we had to do our live. And yeah, life fills in, When you think you've got some free time, you don't. But yeah, this morning, definitely go out for my morning walk and say hello to all the bunnies, because I always see bunnies in our subdivision because we live right next to a forested area. And so the bunnies are always out in the morning hopping about. And they're bold little suckers, too. I can get pretty close up to them before they scurry off. I'm thinking maybe I should take a carrot or something and entice them. But then I might have a whole bunch of them every morning coming out and attacking me for carrots. I don't know. I have a wicked imagination. Okay, so speaking of imaginations and wicked and all kinds of things, so what's pissing me off this week? Know-it-alls. Know-it-alls. People that, there are several kinds of know-it-alls. There are good know-it-alls and there are bad know-it-alls. This is commonly referred to in formal English as pedantic people. Pedantic. Pedantic. It's a hard word to say. Anyways, which basically means know-it-alls. And there's a definition for it, and I copied it out. And it says someone who's too concerned with literal accuracy or formality. It's a negative term that implies someone is showing off book learning or trivia, especially in a tiresome way. Not a very flattering term. But I said there are good know-it-alls and bad know-it-alls. Let's start with the bad know-it-alls. These are the people, and we all know somebody like this, who has to fill you in on the finer details about a topic. Usually, it doesn't really matter. These are the kind of people that have a great brain for remembering trivia. I am not one of those people. My brain is too full with other things, and so, in and out. If there's not room, something goes for something new. And this happens to me all the time. But there are people that have minds or memories like steel traps. They'll read something once, and no matter how insignificant the fact may be, they will remember it, and they love to bring it up all the time. Now, in many cases, these people mean well by doing that. But sometimes, depending on the tone and the moment, it can come out very negative, and it's very, very annoying, to say the least. But sometimes it's helpful. Sometimes someone is shedding some more light on a subject that maybe you don't know as much about, and you learn from them. So that's what I mean. There are good know-it-alls, because you can learn from those people if you leave your mind open to it. However, the ones that are negative usually have a tone about the way they say the fact, and it tends to be a superior tone. And that's where the term know-it-all comes from, and that is not a positive term. But to extend this, YouTube is full of know-it-alls. It really is. I get comments that I never know are meant to be helpful, I suppose. They extend my knowledge about something I have talked about on one of my videos, and that's always appreciated because, like I said, that's the kind of thing you can learn from. But then there are others who just want to illustrate for whatever point that they're smarter than you. It's not a competition. At least it's not for me. And some can be downright nasty. They look for you to make a mistake and to correct you. And those are the worst kind of know-it-alls. All right? Nobody likes to be corrected. Okay? Now, sometimes we need to be corrected. I mean, if we're spewing forth misinformation, then really we need to have that corrected. And if we're open enough to the idea, we realize it's not criticism, it's extending our knowledge. But again, it all depends on the tone. How these people put that information out there. And there's a fine line between being a positive know-it-all and a negative know-it-all. Okay? But you see this all the time as a YouTube creator in comments. However, you also find it on a more dangerous level, because now, if you saw Stephen and Walter live on Sunday, we talked about AI and misinformation. AI is not completely, it's not human. It just gathers information, strings it together, and presents it. But the way it presents it sounds like it's fact, when in fact, it's only as smart as the information it finds. And we know that the internet, which is where it scrapes up all its information, is filled with misinformation. So there's the danger. Now, AI is the negative form of know-it-all, because it comes across very convincing that this is, what you should believe, and this is why you should believe it, and it's fact, when in certain cases it is not. And that can lead us down a garden path that, misinformation. And there's a lot of it out there, right? So, yeah. And people on YouTube are making so-called documentaries using AI. And because the final product, the production quality of these videos is very professional looking thanks to AI, it makes it sound like it's even more the fact rather than fiction. So I suppose we need know-it-alls in our society, like human know-it-alls, who can go in and correct misinformation. So that's the good side of know-it-all. But as I said before, there's the negative side too that irks us. Like, we've all got friends who correct us every moment they get. And after a while, you just want to hit them with your car. Yeah, you do. So anyways, as a content creator on YouTube, I've had my fair share of know-it-alls, both positive and negative. And I tend to ignore the negative ones and glean the positive information I can get from the good know-it-alls. I guess that's what we need to do in this day and age of misinformation. Okay, moving right along, let's talk about the deck garden. And I made a little movie to show you how things are growing on the deck. And it's beautiful. It's doing wonderful. So an update on our deck garden out here, and today is very warm. It's 31 degrees C at 5:30 on Saturday night, and that you see. So the jalapeno is coming along very nicely, and this lettuce was transplanted actually. So I don't know if it'll survive or not, but it may come on. I think that's the basil. Cucumbers. Yes, we do have little cucumber. Can you see it back and down in there? There is a little cucumber coming. Tomatoes. Now we've already had some tomatoes off of one of these plants. They're called kitchen tomatoes or something like that. I think it came off this plant, the little ones, and they're quite tasty. This is a pepper here, some green peppers on that, some more here, and they've got some little tiny buds. More of the tomatoes. This is our cantaloupe. This is our experiment for this year. Don't know what'll happen. We won't know for quite a while. More lettuce coming up there, the chives. And I think we might have some garlic chives, but I'm not sure. Looks like we've got some parsley over there. I'm not sure what that is. It's something. This was a transplanted pepper from under the grow lights, and it's starting to thrive, but they're yellow. I don't know if they're going to change into another color, but they might. So out here you can see what the new windows look like from the outside. They're very nice. And it is quite warm out here. Here comes Walter. And so although it's really hot right now, it's not unpleasant. It's not very humid actually. So yeah, so the garden's come along really nicely. So I did buy something new this week. It's not that exciting, but I did take advantage of Amazon's Prime days for this. And this is something, this is not, like I said, this is not exciting, but I got the thought, it popped up in my feed, and I thought, why not? And this is what I'm talking about. I bought a coffee warmer. Yeah, okay, simple thing, but it was 50% off, so it was $10. I had something like this many years ago when I was teaching. It sat on my desk in my workroom area because I had this tendency of pouring a coffee first thing in the morning, getting busy with other things, and then I'd come back to the coffee 2 hours later and it was cold. And I have a tendency to do the same thing here. My coffee sits right here to my right. Yeah, that right. Every morning, I take 2 sips, I get busy on the computer or on the sewing machine or whatever, forget about it, and I end up drinking cold coffee. And I've kind of gotten used to doing that, but that's not the point. So I have this electric coffee warmer, and right now, it is keeping my coffee toasty warm. So yeah, neat little invention. I love it. As I said, nothing earth-shattering. These have been around for 1,000 years. But what I've done is, because everything in this room is run by my, I'll say the name, Echo, and
Looks like you've been cut, or I missed the context. You can try asking the whole question again.
Yeah, she's very efficient. Speaking about know-it-alls, she's annoying too. But anyways, I just give a command to that, to her, and she turns on my little coffee warmer, and she'll turn it off, just like how I run my lights down here as well. Yes, I know, it's sitting right next to me. There's a switch. I could hit the switch. But if I can use AI to do things for me, why not? It might be a little extreme. anyways, I'm really happy with this coffee warmer, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so speaking of AI and things like that, can I print this effing thing? Well, yes. Let me show you what I printed. I printed a 3D printer. Well, sort of. It's a model. This is a model of the A1 by Bamboo. It was the freebie they sent me when I ordered the new Bamboo printer. And you had to print out all the parts for it and put it together. Now, it also is supposed to be a phone charger. And under the platform, the green platform, is a coil for, putting your, what do they call those, a magnetic thing or magnet or something? I don't know. Whatever it's called. You put your phone on there and it will charge it. And there's some little computer components that go inside of this and everything to power it. So I followed the instructions. It took me a while to put together. But I managed to get it all together, plugged it in, and yeah, it wasn't worth the effort. Yeah, it will charge my phone, but I'm not using it for that. And it's got another little feature. The little arm at the top will go up and down, sort of. It came with several different warnings. It's got 7 different modes. There's a switch on the back that you click once for one mode, click twice for another, that kind of thing. But they tell you not to use modes 3, 4, and 5. You can use modes, or 3, 4, 5, and 6 or something. You can use mode 1, mode 2, and mode 7. Not sure what any of those modes do. It does light up a little bit at the front too. Yeah, cute idea, not really worth the effort. So, yeah, it's sitting off on the side as a little, I don't know, display kind of a deal. That and some other things that I made. Now, and you've heard me talk about it, printer poop. When the bamboos change colors, they purge out some of the old color and to load up the new color. And when they do that, they cut off the old color, and it's all kind of curled up, and they shoot it down the poop chute. Yes, that's what it's called, a poop chute, and into a bucket, a catcher. And you get a lot of that, depending on how many different colors you're changing and whatever. And a lot of people, and I'm one of them, it seems like such a waste of filament. But you get so much of it, what do? Well, you know that I put it in little bags and label it the Idiot Quilter Genuine 3D printer poop. Put a little plastic bag, and on our monthly draws, I throw it in with the stuff that I send out. But that's not enough to get rid of it. The thing flashing behind my shoulder over there, that was a piece of kind of artwork that I 3D printed, and you can put poop inside of that and the lights shine through it, and that's something. But that doesn't use up a lot of poop either. So I came across these little creatures. I call them the poop pets. And basically, they print on your printer, and then they stop at a certain point, and you can fill them with the printer poop, and then it carries on and seals it all up. So there's a lamb, or a sheep, there's a hat, there's a fun little caricature of a dragon, and there's a duck. There's an elephant as well, but it didn't work as well. So, you throw in your poop. Well, these aren't going to use up all the poop that I have accumulated, and unfortunately, that poop is not recyclable. So it goes into landfill. Yeah, and there's a lot of it. And people are working on technology to take the poop and create it into usable filament again. But they haven't perfected this yet, and they haven't made it so that the average person like me can buy a machine at a reasonable price and create my own filament from my poop. So that sounds strange. But that will come. And I suspect that before even this year is out, there will be some things on the market for doing this. And once they do come on the market, and if they're at a reasonable price, I will invest in a system as well, because it really disturbs me that these printers create this much poop. But in the meantime, I have these. So if you happen to be somebody who wins one of my monthly draws, you can rest assured you're not only just going to get a small plastic bag of poop, but you're also going to get a poop pet as well, filled with poop. got to distribute it somehow, right? So that's what I've been up to. And one other thing, I'm thinking, I love my bamboo printers, you know that. And I have 4 Creality KEs, which were my love of my life before I discovered bamboo. They still work, but I don't use them as much for a variety of reasons. I mean, I just love the bamboo ones. I am seriously thinking, well, I was thinking of buying another, I have 2, but buying a third Bamboo X1C. However, lots of people have A1s, like you saw the little model, and they love the A1s. And for about $600, I could get an A1 with an AMS, the color changing thing. They're a little smaller, but I don't think the build plate is smaller. So basically, doesn't have as many features, but still works really good. And I'm seriously considering buying an A1. And if I do, then I will replace one of the KEs with an A1. And eventually I would like to get rid of all 4 of the KEs. But here's the problem. Do I sell them? If I sell them, what do I sell them at? They're worth about $400 a piece brand new. They all work fine. I just like bamboo better. So what? I could put them on one of those market sites or something like that and, sell it for $100 or $150. Of course, you know what's going to happen. Somebody will want one, but they won't want to pay that price for it. So then they'll come and they'll dicker with you, right? And like we have something here. I don't know if it's in other parts of the world, but it's called Kijiji. I have sold things on Kijiji before. And often what happens is you list it at a price, and a person shows up on your doorstep and they say, well, look, if you offered, like, say I'm selling it for $100, they'll say, well, look, will you take 50? And they're showing you cash there. And the strategy with that is that, yeah, you want to get rid of it, so you'll take that. Yeah, well, I probably would. But then somebody suggested to me, I was talking about this yesterday on Stephen and Walter Live, put the price at 150 then, if you want, and you really want 100, and they come and say, will you take 100? And say yes. So yeah, so that's a strategy, counter strategy, I guess. I could do that. I hate dickering about things. If there was a place where I could donate these printers, I would do that. And as I've just said that, I just thought of a couple of possibilities. So yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm not going to make any decisions about this until we come back from the UK, which we leave in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Once I come back, then I'll seriously contemplate this kind of thing. I'm thinking there's a local elementary school, you've heard me talk about it before, close to me. I wonder if they'd like one of the printers. But we'll see. I don't know. It's all up in the air. I'll need to consult Walter about this because he usually comes up with ideas that I don't think about. So yeah, I'll do that. But in the meantime, I'm looking for new things to print. Interesting things that won't be just a waste of filament. I'm trying to get away from printing the cute little trinkets. Yes, he says that as I've just printed out poop pets. But anyways, yeah, I continue my hunt. It is a hobby, and I find it very interesting. And it's also a form of AI because there are people now creating models. That's what you call the things before you print them, models, 3D models. And they're using AI for this. And I'm kind of interested in this, so I need to explore that a little further. And I'll let you know. Okay, so that takes me to old clips from our original S&W Lives. And this week, well, since it's my birthday, we're going to talk about Walter's 60th birthday and about eating out because we're going to be eating out this week. It's kind of a timely thing, except this comes from, I believe, 2018.
Actually,
Good evening.
1 day past my birthday.
Yeah, his birthday was yesterday, so he's very old now. Yeah, this is the time of the year when we're both the same age. Yeah. So anyways, so what did we do for Walter's birthday? You're probably wondering. Well, it was Excitement City.
I didn't want too much.
He didn't want anything.
We had a big party for him, but
Well,
I didn't want to do anything.
I threw my own party. And no one else was throwing me one, so I threw my own. But yeah, well, he didn't want anything, and he's impossible to buy for. Thank God for gift certificates. So you got a lot of those. Virginia's here. Hi, Virginia. She says happy birthday, Walter.
Thank you.
So anyways, we did go out for dinner last night to a place. It's an Italian restaurant in our town. Really, restaurants anymore, there's not a lot out here that are thrilling, like they're special, I guess. But this one's a nice enough restaurant. Prices
Well,
are pretty reasonable. The food is
And
good.
the food's kind of homemade type
Yeah.
stuff, so.
So, that was a nice dinner. Cheap date. I don't know. Well, so we did do that.
I mean, there's a lot of restaurants here are chain restaurants. And
Yeah.
it's the same stuff, whether you, sort of like the McDonald's of. food.
Yeah. And if you're wondering what we're drinking, it's a
Just
big
beer.
glass of urine. Oh, you told me it was. Oh, no. Beer.
Fizzy urine, it's got a problem then.
Oh, maybe. So, anyways, that's all we did for Walter's birthday. It wasn't too exciting. I made him wear the tiara. And well, I can't think of anything else that was too exciting about last night. Restaurant was busy, but it cleared out pretty quick. We didn't go until about 7:30. And
And when we got there, it was pretty much packed.
yeah, it was. And then, of course, everybody left at about the same time. And we eat incredibly fast. So we have this way of doing things. We'll have an appetizer first or a drink. Well, last night, we don't usually have a cocktail, but special occasion. So we did last night. I had what was mine called? Italian Surfer. And it had dark Bacardi rum, pineapple juice, amaretto. That's what I got because I love amaretto. Something else in it. I can't remember what it was. And then you've got one that had gin in it.
Yeah, gin with pineapple juice again and some raspberry. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, actually, they were both pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, and actually, this restaurant was usually those drinks are expensive everywhere, and that particular restaurant, I was surprised they didn't charge that much for those.
They're usually about $10 a piece, and those were only what, $7.50 or something?
$7.75.
Yeah, so that was
So
actually
actually,
kind of a
I was kind
bargain.
of surprised at that.
Oh. But anyway, so I'm just looking on here. Ilona
Now, mind
says.
you, here you still have to pay tax on it.
Well, yeah, true. Ilona says, hello, Steve, and hello, Walter, and happy birthday. Let's Make a Mess says, and that's Dawn. Dawn says, happy birthday, Walter. Sandy says,
Thank
happy
you.
birthday, Walter.
Thank you.
Brenda says, hello, Steve and Walter, and all. So happy to be here. And happy birthday, Walter, from Brenda as well. So happy birthday wishes coming in all over. Don't have a heart attack.
And I have a ton of happy birthday wishes on my Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Well, everybody likes you. Well, you're Mr. Social Butterfly these days. Aren't you going out for lunch tomorrow?
Yeah.
With somebody?
For lunch.
Jeez.
Then I'm going out for dinner with another group of people on Tuesday.
Cripes. I've never seen anybody so social butterfly. Yeah, right. I don't go
I'm
anywhere.
going out to lunch tomorrow with a woman I worked with for probably about over 35 years. She worked at the company I worked at before, the new company, and then she was worked at this past company for 30 years. She just recently retired, so this will be her first post-retirement function, going out to lunch with me.
Oh, well, that's, yeah. Don says, well, Mr. Popular. Yeah, really. I don't have anybody to go out for lunch with, except him. Yeah, well, nobody, a lot of my teacher friends, they've all retired at different years or are still working.
And
for
you
that
don't
matter.
go out to lunch with a teacher. They don't need time.
No, you can't go out for lunch with a teacher that's working, no, because it doesn't work that way. I remember years ago, we used to go out on a Friday for lunch from the department. In those days, I don't know, we had an incredibly long lunch hour. we'd actually go and have a little glass of wine to come back and teach. Well, times have changed.
Yeah.
Like that. Like now, that seems like so foreign now. But
So events in the past week, well, we had Pop-Up Sew Day on Saturday, as I mentioned earlier. I think everybody had a good time. Thank you for all of those who came out and to help me celebrate my birthday. There were prizes. Everybody won a prize. It's my birthday, I give gifts. And I think we had about 44 people. Yeah, that's a pretty good turnout for something like that. So I was very pleased. Didn't get very much done, but that is okay. I think a lot of people got a lot of things done. And then the next day we had Russ's sewing shenanigans from Russ from Quilt Meets World. And many of the same people were at it. Some other people who couldn't make mine or didn't want to make mine, whatever, and came to Russ's. And yeah, it was a sewing weekend. It was lots of fun. It was great. Now, when will be the next Pop-Up Sew Day? Well, we're going away very soon, as you know, so that's a delay. So the next one right now, tentatively, and I will confirm this or firm it up with you all when we get back from the UK, probably Saturday, August the 16th. So if you want to pencil that in, stay tuned for more information about that in the coming weeks. Okay, so what else? Well, we had new windows put into this house. So, yeah, they did an excellent job. The windows are gorgeous. Now we have the problem of figuring out window dressings for them, which is a pain in the butt because all our old ones, our old blinds, do not work. We do not want curtains. We want blinds. And, yeah, that's a thing. And we're still exploring the limited possibilities because really there's not as much to choose from out there as you would think. Especially we're looking for ones where we don't have to drill holes into the new frames for the windows. They're vinyl. Now you can do it, and but we'd rather not. So Walter has found a site called Select Blinds, they're a Canadian company, that has these tension bars on their blinds, that just sort of spring load in there. So he's ordered one for one of the windows to try it out, and if it works, if we like it and it works out okay, then we'll order more. We went to Blinds to Go, and yeah, they don't have that kind of thing. In fact, when we mentioned it, they sent us to Select Blinds, which we'd already looked at. So yeah, that's another, every time you do one thing, it leads to something else, doesn't it? And when it comes to, well, it comes to anything really, but when it comes to home upgrades or things like that. But anyways, we're really happy with the new windows. So of course we had to pull furniture away from the windows and things like that. So the house was, for a day and a half, was a little bit turned upside down, but it's all back to normal now. And so I've got two little video clips I'm going to put in here. The first one is what it looked like when we prepped for the windows to go in. So today, my house is upside down and every which way because we have the window installers coming. So this is our family room, and you can see that we have stripped the wall, moved the table away. Same here with this big window because it's being replaced as well. And of course we've got all the furniture in the center of the room. And then another window we're having replaced is in here in our dining room. That window is being replaced. So I had to pull the dining room table away from the wall, take off a few things that were up on the top up there just so they don't fall over. And yeah, everything's in a disastrous mess. And then down here where we're having a whole bunch of windows put in each room. Each room is really all turned around and everything. That window's going to be replaced. This is Walter's sewing room. Believe it or not, right now it's the neatest room in the house. Which is not saying much. I said, your sewing room is the neatest room in the house at the moment. The bedroom, we've got all the shades off. Walter's sucking up some stuff. I suppose it's a good thing in some ways because now we can do sort of a deep cleaning. Because we're going to have to. I don't know what kind of mess we're going to find ourselves in. The bathroom window is being replaced as well. So they're supposed to arrive somewhere between 8 and 12 o'clock today, 4-hour window. Hopefully they'll arrive sooner than later. It is a busy day because I have to go off to the dentist in another hour or so too, which I'm really looking forward to not. And got a call from the dentist yesterday that they wanted the person that was going to be working on my teeth. It's just a little chip that needs filling apparently, or they think it should be filled. She's not going to be doing it, the one that diagnosed it. It's going to be the other one because the one that was supposed to do it is very, very sick. And then they had to change my time from 9 o'clock to 9:30 to accommodate this other dentist. Lately, everything I've done in terms of appointments with the dentist, they've changed the appointment. And I'm getting a little tired of it. Yeah, okay, can't help it that she's sick. But the one that's coming in is on maternity leave. So what? I guess she has to get everything with her child, her baby, and set up in that. But you know, those are not my problems. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to the dentist. I don't want to go. More later. And so that's the before, and now I'm going to show you the after. Okay, so that takes me to what's coming up this week. Well, we have dinner out, as you know, in Toronto with some friends we're going to visit. So of course there's once again, just to remind you, no sewing with Stephen this week. And I've already talked about the next tentative pop-up sew day for August the 16th. And of course I've mentioned, and I'm sure I mentioned this several times, that it's my birthday. And this morning when I got up and turned on the computer, I got a lovely birthday card from Walter, a video one, and I'm hoping this works. So I'm going to plug this in here for you to see. I'm just going to get it set up. Okay, so I hope this works.
Hi there, my name is Kevin Bacon. And I'm sure you're wondering, what does Kevin Bacon want? Well, Stephen, let me tell you. What I want is for you! Have a good birthday! Get your feelings, stop you, celebrate it every way! Yeah! Everybody's grinning from ear to ear. They're singing, you know, and that's what I wanna hear. 'Cause it's true, and it's true. This day is all about you. This day is all about you. And I can guarantee we are gonna drop down from 6 to 1 degree. Now the day is 68, one thing is clear, you get better and better every single year. And it's true, this day is all about you. This day is all about you.
So that was fun. Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of everything for me today. I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll see you later on. Thanks for joining me. Bye. By the way, did I mention it's my birthday? Yay! Bye.